He did go for Ghost Marchers, which is a interesting choice on Thunderbringer. You know, I prefer to do mana management with the Steam Boots, swapping the different stats. I like Steam Boots a little bit better on him, but there's definitely a case to be made for any boots on almost any hero. Thunderbringer kind of suiciding into Pyromancer. Not the best idea I've ever seen. He did have that haste rune, but that doesn't make you invincible by any means. You have to be really careful getting overconfident with those runes, which we just saw right there. We do see really great warding here by the Legion team, ELMO. They have a lot of counter wards going down. Counter wards are really, really strong. Hellborn team does put the ward here, which is really kind of a hard place to counter ward because, you know, there's not many places that you can cover 2 wards with, right? So like if you counter ward here, you're counter warding this, you're counter warding this. If you counter ward here, you're counter warding this, and you're counter warding this. But if you want to counter ward this, you have to kind of just know that they're going to have it there, or do it later when you have an eye or some kind of puzzle box or anything like that. We do have a lot of pressure going here on the bottom tower. It looks like they're setting up for a team fight. The Legion team does have their Witch Slayer ult. Finally, they can put a huge amount of burst, especially with this level 12 Soul Reaper's ultimate level 2. They're putting a lot of pressure on the tower as well. Flimpy was just back here. He did go a Frostbrand first. That'll be pretty effective at controlling the team fights, controlling the movement of the Legion team if he chooses to spread it around a little bit. They are grouping up here still. They have 4 from the Legion team versus the 4 for the Hellborn team versus 3 for the Legion team. We do have people from the Legion team in the pool, and looks like they will be TPing bottom. Hellborn kind of wants to get out of here right now. They don't want to fight this. Bubbles does not go in and do use his ult. I think he probably could have been a little bit more effective if he had actually used it. Behemoth going down, trying to chase down this Thunderbringer. Thunderbringer just turning around and saying nope, and using all his cooldowns. Magnus getting an amazing ult right here. Oh, but there he goes. He finally stuns in. Just got enough mana at the very last second. Defiler's ult doing ridiculous damage though, and Thunderbringer and Flimpies were cleaning up a little bit. Looks like Pyromancer might be in a little bit of trouble. I think he should be fine though. Yeah, just a little bit of HP enough to survive, and Thunderbringer is out of juice. Flint Beastwood coming in though. If he had enough mana to ult, he should probably look to go in here, but without it, it's kind of a lost cause. Especially with this TP coming in, he definitely needs to back. So again, you know, really nice team fight for both teams. Magnus had just enough mana to get in there with that ult. If he wasn't able to do that, it would have been a lot different. A little bit sloppy at first initiation from both teams, but they both managed to get quite a few kills out of it. Definitely action-packed game we have here. Especially, you know, you might think of Flint Beastwood might just be farming all game, but he actually is choosing to be active in these team fights and doing quite a bit of damage, especially with that ult and flare combo. Just quite a bit of magic damage at the beginning of the game, and then he transfers into being an auto-attack beast a little bit later on. So we are seeing action continue in this bottom kind of area of the map. The top left-hand corner of the map has been forsaken by both teams. They just they don't really care about it. They're more interested in towers. They're more interested in kills. Obviously, the Legion team trying to stop the Hellborn team from getting this bottom tower, which is, it's fairly low. It's only got about 300 HP. We just see this illusion Thunderbringer. I love baiting with illusions. If you can realistically micro while you're doing whatever you're doing off map, you can usually bait some fairly significant stuff from people when they think they've caught you out in the open. It's always rewarding. It's very rewarding. So again, action still condensing down here at the bottom. We do see Thunderbringer walking around. He is in a bit of a dangerous spot again. The Legion team is closing around him. You can see the 3 people right here in a perfect little arc. And he probably will go down here. He barely gets away. Soul Reaper's Shield might be just enough. Another wave from Defiler coming up, and he does actually go down. We see Bubbles with a really great ult here. They're going to get Soul Reaper as well. You know, you have to wonder if you're trying to control this area as Hellborn, and you want to pressure this tower. I don't think 2.5 people, you know, almost 3, is really enough people to do it. It looks like Legion team's going to capitalize on this. They're going to go straight for the tower. Should be a super easy tower kill for them. There's nothing that the Hellborn team can do. Torture using Impalement, I think they might have actually been able to get a second tower if he had saved Impalement. It's kind of a waste to use on a tower that's going to melt easily with Defiler's ult up. You know, see right now they're contacting the tower, and if Torturer is using Impalement right now, the tower is sinking down a lot faster than that. They do use the Glyph. It's going to go a lot slower now that Defiler's ult is not up, and it does look like they might be able to save it. They don't look like they're too inclined to actually save it though, so it is going to go down. The Impalement does come back up and they get it. They're going to get a pick off on Witch Witch Slayer as well, really bad positioning. Magnus is in a bad spot as well, but he will be able to juke through those trees probably. And he can actually just stun out if he needs to. So really great job by the Legion team. You know, they were behind there for a little bit. They were losing team fights, but you know, they group up as 5 and they're super powerful. They get a couple of pickoffs, and suddenly they get 2 tower kills, which is going to give them a fairly solid gold lead. Early in this game, we're about 19 minutes in the game. They have about a 6.5k gold lead, which isn't, you know, a huge margin by any means, but it definitely is significant enough to make a difference when we see the next team fight. As far as gold per minutes, we have about 350 on this Pyromancer. He should be probably looking, he has a portal key done. I expect him to probably just go ahead and go for a Sheep Stick next. That's the typical build, Sheep Stick, and then I like getting either Shrunken Head or a Frostwolf's Call after that, with Frostwolf's Call definitely being preferable. And Defiler has a Shaman's Headdress. Nothing else too fancy on her quite yet. I'll be interested to see what she chooses to go. She's probably going to try to be quite tanky, so she can just use her ult in those team fights. And let's see what else we got here. Bubbles. Bubbles is probably going to go for a portal key, I imagine. He might skip it. He might feel like they have enough initiation and go ahead and go for something else like a Sheep Stick or something like that. Behemoth is looking to get a portal key, obviously. Where is he at? He doesn't have, he has about 1,000 gold, so he still has quite a bit to go on that. But another good team fighter too, and he should be a lot closer. And let's see, we have Torturer. Torturer. Is that Astrolabe, I guess? I don't know. I never build Astrolabe. I play mids, yo. And, so, do you see quite an action on Magnus again? In a bad position, getting picked off. This Magnus really needs to work on his positioning if he wants to play such a positioning important hero. You know, teams are going to punish you if you are in a bad position, especially if you're a hero like Magnus who really needs to focus on positioning. Quite a bit of action. I don't think we're going to see any more kills come out of this except for maybe a Witch Slayer death. He stops to put down a ward and manages to dodge the wave, but you see these souls just reaching out trying to grab him. Flint Beastwood does get picked off. This is a really bad for the Legion team, for the Hellborn team, I apologize. Really not what you want to see from them, losing fights like that. Torturer is here. They should be able to push this tower quite effectively again. Every time they want to kill, they want to try and get another tower. Really get the momentum up. Torturer does have Impalement up. He is going Impalement stun. It's 4-4 right now, and then I expect him to get Agonizing Bonds and not get ult right away, because there's really no reason. You can't support it as far as mana. Yeah, so as far as the Hellborn team, Magnus actually has Steam Boots and a completed power supply. I'm not liking either of those pickups. I don't think you need to finish a power supply this early in the game, and I don't think you need Steam Boots on Magnus. I think Striders are fine. I think you really need that extra gold to go towards an early portal key or wards or whatever your team needs. Where is he on his farm? Right now he has 50 gold, so definitely not close to a portal key. He needs about 2,100 to pick it up. Let's see. He's actually not going for early spell shards on Thunderbringer. Maybe he just picked up the glowstone to get early staffs, and he will transition into finishing those spell shards. Spell shards definitely a powerful item on him, but the Staff of the Master spell shards makes his ult do a ridiculous amount of damage. Behemoth faking a stun, Behemoth faking a stun, and Pyromancer faking a stun. They're in kind of a bad spot right now. The Hellborn team probably could have capitalized on it. There are only 3 Legion team members there. Obviously, they don't know that, or they probably would have initiated right on them, and probably could have taken them out, you know. Pyromancer does have his level 2 ult, and a portal key is quite powerful at picking off heroes. Soul Reaper does have a Gnome's Wisdom and a Mystic's Vestment. She's keeping her Steam Boots on. There she goes. She cycles from the Strength in case they choose to jump on her. She definitely wants that extra HP. Looks like the Legion team is going to initiate. The Hellborn team is kind of spreading out in a really sloppy way. Soul Reaper is in a really bad position. There's no reason to go through the trees like that. She gets picked off immediately, just like you would expect. And Thunderbringer does manage to pick off Behemoth, but, you know, Bubbles comes in here and gets her ult on 3 people, which is, or only 2 people, sorry, which is quite good. And Pyromancer with that portal key again just comes in and picks somebody off. Magnus is going to ult right on top of Pyromancer, and it looks like he will be able to just barely get the kill, and he does. And then he steam bats quite quickly. If he has enough to stun, he might be able to actually get another kill right here on Bubbles. Ooh, Bubbles in a bad spot. Gets his ult off, or gets his silence off, but Magnus should be able to stun him right here and get the kill. Defiler just a little bit late to get a counter kill on Magnus. He should be able to get out of there. So that's really great for Magnus. Extra HP helped him survive a little bit. But, you know, he really needs the portal key to hit those really effective ults and change these team fights. So unlike last game, we're not seeing any really central point between either team. You know, Defiler is definitely going for an early Frostro Skull. That's a really great pickup on her and gives her a ton of beefiness, gives her a little bit of slow in the team fights. Definitely a solid pickup, especially because she's going to be getting it so early. She has a ton of gold farm. We do see she is at 419 gold per minute, which is quite high for Defiler. Those tower kills have been absolutely essential in keeping her gold farm so high. We do see a 7,600 gold lead on the Legion team. It's a little bit more significant. They're building it up a little bit more every time after every team fight, and so it'll definitely be interesting to see how the Hellborn team manages to come back from this, if they can in fact come back from this. Obviously, Flint Beastwood is going to be really important for their strategy, getting him farmed up. He doesn't have the best farm so far. You know, he's only at 278 gold per minute, which isn't awful by any means, but when you compare it to the 400, 350 gold per minute farm on the other team, and you know, the levels are really coming into play now. You see Pyromancer and Defiler are level 14 and 15 respectively, and it lets them do a lot of damage in these team fights. We do have fairly good warding by both teams going on right now. We have a Ward of Sight placed in the back by the Hellborn team. You know, this doesn't quite reach that to counter it. That's a really great position. We do have, we actually have a counter ward right here that they didn't, I guess, have vision up the hill to counter that ward. And we do have the Hellborn ward right here, which gives them quite a lot of vision of this whole area. So, you know, really proactive warding by both teams. Again, I don't like this ward necessarily on the Hellborn team. I think it's a really, probably the most defensive ward you can do in the game as Hellborn. This one as well, but it's not super powerful. If you put this here, you basically gain the same protection from your junglers, but this is much more likely of an area for the Legion team to be walking through. So we do see that the Legion team might be positioning themselves to try and get a few pickoffs here in middle. They only have 3. It would be a 3-on-3, which would probably be in the favor of probably the Legion team here with this really strong initiation, and they do choose to go on. You know, Magnus just positioning himself so oddly this game. You know, he's consistently in the front of the pack, where Magnus is so great at initiation and picking and peeling people off of people that are chasing, and he's just not able to do that because he gets picked off. You know, you see Magnus is 3, 7, and 6 right now, and that's definitely that's not looking too great for him. We do see Witch Slayer just has the boots and the TP ready. It looks like Soul Reaper's actually not going to go for a full Shamans. He does have a Mighty Blade. There are a few different ways you can go with that. We'll have to see which way he chooses. Flint Beastwood did finish his Frostburn, which is a little sign of light for this Hellborn team, but it might be too little too late at this point. You know, he's able to put out a little bit of damage with it, but it's nothing that's going to, you know, be like the Malakin that we saw last game, where he can really get in there and mess up the entire Legion team. They are going to be pushing. They're pushing really aggressively. They're blowing the Defiler ult straight away, going right in there. We do see Flint Beastwood kind of teasing with the ult on there. We do see Magnus initiate. He gets the ult. Will he be able to get the ult off? No, and absolutely not. Pyromancer does do it. He probably should have waited and just went ahead and cast it in the fog and then went on them. They were kind of dedicated to that tower push. We do see quite a lot of damage coming out on the Soul Reaper, and he just melts. And he's supposed to be the tanky one on the team, so you know the rest of the team is probably going to melt as well. This is not looking great. The Legion team is probably, with all their tower pushing ability, going to be able to get the base, and they are probably going to get a genocide here with all of their portal keys. You see, the movement is so effective on the Legion team. This is the kind of movement they were looking for last game, but this game the Hellborn team just doesn't have anybody that can really punish them for it by doing a ton of damage like that Malakin was doing last game. So, you know, you have to kind of question the Flint pickup this game. Malakin was not banned. I don't see any reason why you wouldn't pick up the Malakin again. I don't think that they have an effective team to counter him this team on the Legion team. There's really not much difference. You have to also question the Magnus play. You know, the ult haven't been the best. He has Volcanic Touch instead of stats. He doesn't look like he's too comfortable playing this Magnus here, to be honest with you. He's got Steam Boots, a finished power supply that you don't need this early. He does have that 1 extra charge that's really helpful right now, of course. And you know, you have to wonder why they chose to kind of mix it up this game when they didn't need to. But it's definitely not quite over yet, especially when you have a Flint Beastwood who could farm up even more. I don't know if he's going to be able to get the effective farm that he needs, though. He needs quite a few more items. This game's going to have to go quite long if they want the Flint Beastwood to get to a point where he can do the damage he needs to take down this super getting tanky Legion team. You know, you have this Defiler who's not afraid to just push push out in front of the team. She does have her Frostwolf's called done. That's going to give her a ton of control in the fights. You know, if she can get onto that Flint Beastwood, it's going to do quite a lot. I mean, 20% attack slow is quite significant on a Flint Beastwood. So it'll be interesting to see what the Hellborn team's plan is at this point. I would really like to see them try and do a Kongor or something like that, you know, really counter-ward this area effectively and try and sneak it in. Again, they're going to have to take some kind of risk, I think. I don't think that Flint Beastwood just free farming is going to be enough to actually overcome a 14,000 gold deficit, right? You need to do something above and beyond letting your carry farm. And one way to do that is to win several team fights in a row. And a really great way to do that is